Sciences Development at the University of Iowa Center for Advancement, and I'm delighted to be with you all today as we honor the many achievements of our College of Pharmacy's distinguished alumni and friends during the Osterhaus Symposium and Alumni Awards. To start, we recognize the establishment of a prestigious faculty position, the Jean M. Schmidt Chair, which is being awarded to Dean Jill Colasar. I would like to congratulate the Dean and also extend our warmest thanks to the family members who are with us today on behalf of the late Jean Schmidt and her late father, John. Today is made possible by the incredible generosity of the family, and we are so grateful for their investment in our future, for their partnership with the Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center, and the research and discovery of cancer therapeutics at Iowa. Investitures are unique moments in the life of the university. Some of you may be familiar with the idea of a presidential investiture. Faculty investitures are similar in nature and, like their presidential counterparts, are steeped in tradition. English universities originated the practice and modeled such celebrations after a knighting ceremony. Because named chairs and professorships are among our university's highest academic honors, it is fitting to officially recognize these distinguished faculty with a formal ceremony. The medallion the Dean will receive today commemorates her role as an academic leader and represents a legacy of excellence in the College of Pharmacy. Such faculty positions are made possible through generous private support. This support has always been vital to the university, but permanent faculty endowments hold even greater significance now at a time when the university's critical mission depends more than ever on the investment by our alumni and friends. So again, let us recognize Jean and John Schmidt's family members, Joanne Schmidt-Kramer, Jerry Kramer, and Nathan Kramer, for joining us this afternoon to celebrate the Schmidt legacy. And here today to celebrate our honoree and lead our ceremony is University of Iowa Executive Vice President and Provost Kevin Kriegel. Kevin.
Thank you, Sarah. I am honored to preside over this ceremony, and I join Sarah in extending a warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for being here to help us mark this very special occasion. Everything we do here at the University of Iowa is founded on a commitment to academic excellence. And the truest measure of that excellence lies in the caliber of our faculty, those who are the heart and soul of any university. Simply put, our long-term success rests on our ability to attract and retain the very best faculty leaders to our ranks. In that endeavor, faculty endowments are critically important. They help us recognize our brightest stars and support cutting-edge research. In the process, they enrich the daily academic lives of our students and faculty colleagues and bring further distinction to this university. That's why we're deeply grateful for the support that we have from generous friends who understand how important these opportunities are for us. Those who value and champion our academic success and its mission and are eager to partner with us to advance it. In no small part, we are a remarkable university because of those friends and supporters. So I'm delighted to have this opportunity today on behalf of the entire university to extend heartfelt thanks to the Kramers and their thanks for creating the Jean M. Schmidt Chair for Drug Discovery. This endowed position honors an exceptional scientist and the University of Iowa alumna, and that's Jean M. Schmidt. Her passion is has been known for the contributions she's made to cancer research and therapeutics, and those were perhaps also matched only by her commitment to training and mentoring of future generations that worked under her. We're grateful for your faith in the University of Iowa as the stewards of Dr. Schmidt's remarkable legacy. Thank you. And as representatives of that legacy, I can imagine no one more fitting than Dr. Jill Colasar, whom we were thrilled to have welcome to the university this past summer as the new dean of the College of Pharmacy here at the University of Iowa. Dean Colasar brought to her new role an impressive research funding record, demonstrated commitment to multidisciplinary collaboration, and extensive experience in oncology drug development and precision medicine. And in the last 24 hours, a $10 million federal grant specifically focused on drug discovery. We're thrilled about that. Jill came to us from the University of Kentucky, where in addition to serving as a university research professor in the College of Pharmacy, she's held multiple leadership roles in the Markey Cancer Center, including director of the Precision Medicine Center and co-leader of the Translational Oncology Program. In those roles, as through her research, she was an inspirational leader who has driven transformative advances. And even in her few short months here with us, she's already bringing the same vision and inspiration to the University of Iowa. Dean Koliser, on behalf of the university, I'm delighted to have this opportunity to say how thrilled we are to have you here at the helm of the College of Pharmacy. Thank you for all you do, and I hope you take great pride in the medallion you'll receive today. It's my pleasure now to turn the podium over to Dean Koliser.
I am tremendously honored to be named the Jean H. Schmidt Chair in Drug Discovery. During her career, Dr. Schmidt contributed to the isolation and evaluation of a number of anti-cancer agents, most notably the natural product dolastatin. Dolastatin is the most successful of all marine natural products, and her discovery was foundational to several FDA-approved anti-cancer medications, including brentuximab and polatuzumab. Her seminal publication in 1987 describing the isolation activity of this compound has been cited more than 700 times. Her legacy continues today. In February of this year, investigators for the first time identified the genes responsible for the production of dolastatin, which opens the door to efficient production and evaluation of a wide variety of additional analogs. Like Dr. Schmidt, I grew up in a rural area, in my case, far northern Wisconsin. As young children, we both got our start in science by studying rocks. If she were here today, I would have brought my rock collection, and I hope she would have enjoyed seeing it as much as I would have enjoyed showing it to her. Unlike Dr. Schmidt, I am the oldest of 7 children. Growing up in a house with 1 bathroom and 5 sisters taught me a number of life lessons, primarily around the concepts of cooperation, teamwork, and effective use of scarce resources. The development of a rotating morning bathroom schedule is an illustration of our ability to work together and solve problems. This demonstrated to me that a solution-based approach, where everybody wins, is often the most effective path forward. I also know how a team can get you through a rough patch. In a more recent example, in our daily sister chat, sometimes hourly sisterly chat, I expressed stress and uncertainty of how an event was going to go. The outpouring of support and advice was immediate. The practical one said, "It's not your first rodeo." The emotionally supportive one said, "Take a deep breath and visualize success." And the funny one said, "As long as your shoes match, you'll be fine." So armed with multiple strategies and wearing matching shoes, I got back on track and carried on. But I think this illustrates the value of diverse viewpoints in carrying out complex initiatives. These early lessons served me well in my career and my life, and I want to thank my sisters for showing me that collaboration is more effective than competition, and also for their ongoing support. Dr. Schmidt was a pioneer in team science as a microbiologist collaborating with chemists and cancer biologists. Like her, collaboration and teamwork have been the foundation of my research career, which I have devoted to developing new anti-cancer agents and ensuring that these new discoveries are translated outside of academic medical centers and into the community where the majority of patients receive their care. One project I am very proud of is the development of a new cell-based therapy. This drug is made from a patient's own cells and is able to convert cold tumors to hot, which is effective in the 40% of cancers that are resistant to immunotherapies, like ovarian cancer. The treatment is cancer-specific and has none of the adverse effects we so commonly see with anti-cancer drugs. I anticipate furthering this work by entering an early phase clinical trial supported by my new $10 million grant, and ovarian cancer within the next year in collaboration with the Holden Cancer Center. The other thing I'm proud of is moving personalized therapy into community medical oncology practices in both Kentucky and Wisconsin. Today, when a patient has cancer, we take a sample of that cancer, analyze the mutations, and then pick a drug that specifically targets that mutation. This approach is transformational in improving outcomes and decreasing adverse effects, but has been slow to be implemented outside of academic medical centers. To overcome these barriers, we conducted listening tours with community medical oncologists and developed a toolkit of education, advice, and nurse navigator support, which is available to these oncologists, and increased precision medicine access in the community, but more importantly, improved patient outcomes. It has taken a village of collaborators to do this work, and I want to thank colleagues who have made this possible, including Dr. Mark Burkhart, who I worked with at the University of Wisconsin and who is the new director of the Holden Cancer Center. I look forward to continuing our long-standing collaboration in Iowa and reduce cancer deaths in our state. I also want to thank my family, who is my foundation, and without their love, support, and encouragement, I wouldn't be here today. To my children, Zach, Tom, Emily, Josh, and Eli, you inspire me to be a better person, and without your examples of kindness and generosity, my motivation for introspection and self-improvement may never have developed. To my husband, Lee, I appreciate and love many things about you, your organization, your enthusiasm, how much you love my cooking, but most of all, the unwavering support and confidence that you have in me. Finally, I want to express my deep admiration for Jean Schmidt and her extraordinary career, as well as thank the entire Schmidt family for the generosity of this support. I'm truly honored. Thank you. I'd now like to invite Nathan Kramer to the stage.
Good afternoon. Today is such a special day. We're in this beautiful building, in this room with so many extraordinary individuals. And it just so happens to be homecoming weekend. So here we go. We as a family are also celebrating this special day with the inaugural investiture of the Dr. Jean M. Schmidt Chair of Drug Discovery. To our new dean, Dr. Dean Jill Colasar. This is a homecoming of sorts for us and for Jean as she began her studies just across this ravine over here in the Med Labs building. It is only fitting this is where her name will remain in perpetuity in this endowed chair position. When my mother and I had the opportunity to visit with Dr. George Weiner and Dr. Ali Salem, yes, and of course the infamous Dean Don Latendra and Jonathan Dorn. Yeah, it became clear the University of Iowa College of Pharmacy is where the Jean M. Schmidt Chair would find a home. The collaborative culture of this institution and the faculty, researchers, and students who make up this college and the Holden Comprehensive Cancer Institute are nothing short of impressive. We have so much to be proud of for that. On a sidebar, I really would like to also thank Barb Kelly and Julia Woodwith. So if you have not yet come across them, they are, in terms of women's basketball, the glue of this building. Thank you both. Jean came to the University of Iowa to study bacteriology, which is now more known as microbiology. She also studied medical technology. Her bench skills and foundational knowledge set her up for continued success at UC Berkeley, where she received her doctorate, protested in the free speech movement, and then went off to Edinburgh, Scotland, where she did her postdoctorate work. Shortly thereafter, she and the late Dr. George Pettit, a natural products chemist, began to collaborate and eventually opened the Cancer Research Institute in Tempe, Arizona, where there was work in drug discovery in oceanic compounds, desert products, and other national products that led to numerous advances and discoveries. Many of those compounds are currently being used in chemotherapeutic treatments, as Dr. Colasar mentioned, throughout the world. Their last major collaboration contributed to the advancement with bryostatins. These come from a marine organism and are showing promising results in clinical trials as anti-cancer agents, anti-HIV agents, and also Alzheimer's disease. Jean was passionate about advancing women and underrepresented individuals in science, and she employed and mentored many students in her lab. If Jean were here today, she would be sitting in the back, a bit awkwardly shy, but she would be thrilled that Dr. Jill Colasar has been awarded this chair. She would also be pleased that Dr. Dean Colasar will be advancing cancer treatments that will make their way across the street into the hospital where patients are seeking treatment and hope. In closing, let's celebrate this beautiful day because we're continuing a tradition of excellence of women in science, advancements in treatment cancer, and also recognizing, again, many exceptional individuals who are in this room with us today, who are making significant contributions to science and education and community practice. Thank you all as well. Lastly, I would like to thank those who are no longer with us that also had an impact in this journey. John and Opal Schmidt were Jean's parents and farmers who worked very hard and whose belief in education allowed Jean to discover and grow and come here to the University of Iowa. I'd also like to recognize the late Dr. George Pettit, Jean's collaborator, a passionate scientist who lived a lifelong quest to find cures. And thank you again to this amazing College of Pharmacy, the students that inhabit it, the alumni that have gone through there, and to the people of Iowa. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan. I'd now like to invite Provost Kriegel and Dean Colasar to come forward for the medallion presentation. To Dean Colasar, we present you with this medallion in recognition of receiving the Jean M. Schmidt Chair in Drug Discovery. To Nathan Kramer, it is our honor to recognize your family for establishing this position in the Iowa College of Pharmacy. I want to again congratulate Dean Colasar and all of our distinguished awardees being recognized today. Thank you to the Schmidt family, to Joanne, Jerry, and Nathan for joining us today. I know this is a special day for you all in honoring Jean's legacy. And to the rest of you, thank you for celebrating with us this afternoon. We'll take just a quick 10-minute pause to prepare for the rest of the ceremony. So thank you again for joining us.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. This is such a special day for the College of Pharmacy, and we're so excited to see you here. I need to give some housekeeping to you. Restrooms are across from the back side of the elevators. I'd also like to point out our Pharmacy Student Ambassador Network. Students who are here volunteering, they're in white coats. If anyone has questions or needs assistance, they're here to help you. I also want to thank some of our esteemed guests who are able to join us today. Kate Gaynor, the Executive Vice President and CEO of Iowa Pharmacy Association. Mike Brownlee, Chief Pharmacy Officer of UI Healthcare. Connie Connolly of the Iowa Board of Pharmacy, Lee Vermeulen, Executive Vice President and CEO of AACP, George Weiner, Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center Director Emeritus, Mark Burkhardt, the Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center Director, and to all of our Executive Leadership Board members and Genesis Board members who are here today to join us. It is our honor to present our esteemed Osterhaus Lifetime Achievement Award today and to celebrate the honorable recipients of the Genesis Alumni Award, Honorary Alumni Award, and Distinguished Alumni Award. So let's go ahead and get started with the presentation of the Genesis Alumni Awards. The Genesis Award honors graduates of the past 15 to 20 years who have achieved early distinction in their field. Recipients include those who have made considerable contributions to the theory and practice of pharmacy, or who have demonstrated major accomplishments in a professional pharmacy practice or pharmaceutical research and development. Recipients have contributed truly exceptional service to their community, the college, the profession, or the public. I'd like to start by introducing Jessica Frank, a 2007 graduate. Jessica Frank is the Senior Vice President of Clinical Success for RX Auntie, a healthcare services company providing advanced analytics and pharmacy care management solutions for health plans. In her role, Dr. Frank provides strategic leadership for RX Auntie's client success team and guides product and service strategies to generate value for healthcare payers. She has over 15 years of managed care experience with expertise in government programs, healthcare equity, medication management, and value-based care. Prior to her current role, Jessica was the director of value-based programs for Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield, where she focused on design and implementation of value-based payment models and clinical practice transformation services. Frank completed a managed care pharmacy residency with outcomes after receiving her Doctor of Pharmacy degree from the University of Iowa in 2007. She spent the first 14 years of her career in various leadership roles in clinical services, operations, and business development with outcomes in West Des Moines, Iowa. Frank's guests in attendance today, and if I could ask you to please stand, are Cody Frank, Deb and Dave Schrader, Tom Halterman, and Bran Newland.
I'm incredibly honored to be among such distinguished recipients of this award. As I looked at the past award recipients, I saw several classmates, business colleagues, and mentors. It was during my time at the University of Iowa College of Pharmacy that I discovered my passion for improving the quality of healthcare through the practice of managed care pharmacy. I recall listening to a healthcare innovator share his story during Dean's Hour about creating a business model that leveraged pharmacists to optimize medication use, connecting patients, health plans, and pharmacists through tech-enabled services. I was intrigued, so I embarked on my journey with Outcomes as an unpaid intern in the middle of winter, which led to a nearly 15-year career with the company. During my time with Outcomes, I had the opportunity to advance national medication therapy management policy, standardize pharmacy documentation and billing practices through the development of a medication therapy problem framework, and develop pharmacy quality measures. Throughout my career, my passion for improving health outcomes has remained at the center of my work. And I've also learned that, a bit to my surprise, I also enjoy being a pioneer, most recently helping Walmart to launch its first Medicare Advantage plan and currently designing and implementing a first of its kind value-based pharmacy service with RxAnty. I'm blessed to have been in Dean's Hour that day, where one of the best innovators in pharmacy, Tom Halterman, shared his story. He and Brand Newland taught me everything I know about how to be a pioneer. And I'm grateful for their many years of mentorship and friendship. I would not have been able to be successful in my accomplishments without the support of my husband and my parents who are with me today and who have encouraged me every step of the way. Thank you to the college for this award.
Our next Genesis Award winner is Yogita Krishnamachari. Yogita Krishnamachari is a director in sterile product development at Merck. In this role, she is responsible for CMC leadership towards Merck's largest molecule portfolio, spanning all biologics and modalities, including monoclonal antibodies, antibody-drug conjugates, fusion proteins, and more. Yogita is considered a domain expert in the development of drug-device combination products for subcutaneous administration of biologics and antibody-drug conjugate development, as well as product tech transfer and commercialization. She specializes in oncology product development and serves as a therapeutic area lead, focusing on assessing the competitive landscape. Her work involves identifying opportunities for patient-centered drug product differentiation and lifecycle management. During her 12-year journey at Merck, Yogita has advanced products from first in human to commercialization, assuming roles of increasing responsibility. She is a co-author on several publications and co-investigator on 4 patents, one of which stemmed from her work at the University of Iowa. Yogita earned her PhD from Iowa in pharmaceutical sciences under the mentorship of Dr. Ali Salam. She also strongly values and dedicates time towards mentoring of junior scientists and sharing her product development expertise. Yogita's guests in attendance today, and if you could please stand. Balaji Bhatrajwaj, Vedant Augustaya, Sharavia Kashyap, and Ali Salam. I'd like to invite Yogita to the podium to receive her award.
Thank you so much, everyone, the College of Pharmacy and everyone here for this honor. It's truly extremely special and gratifying. The city and this place, the university, and of course, my work with Dr. Salem has been instrumental in shaping my career. Very few people have the opportunity and honor of extrapolating their work in graduate school to their industrial career. And I'm so fortunate that I'm one of those very few. My work with Dr. Salem in developing a co-delivery system for a protein and a small molecule doxorubicin for combining the benefits of immunotherapy and chemotherapy for improving patient outcomes is essentially what we call antibody drug conjugates today, and that forms a primary part of my work today at Merck. So thank you so much, Dr. Salem. I'm so honored to be one of your very few, first few graduate students, and your work was he was the pioneer in bringing the concept of cancer immunotherapy to the College of Pharmacy. And I'm so blessed that I was one of those first few students to be working in that space. I also, a large part of my career has also been shaped by some of my amazing professors, Dr. Donovan, Dr. Fiegel, Dr. Kirsch, Dr. Wurster, and Dr. Flanagan, of course. I do have to mention that it's purely because of Dr. Flanagan, I still feel so confident in doing a lot of my pH calculations without really resorting to a plug and play buffer calculator model. So I'm truly honored to have been a part of his tutelage and learning from really one of the best. I'm also really glad that my family is by my side today as I receive this honor. So a huge thanks to them. So a big thank you to my husband, Bala here, who's been my rock in every sense of the term. My two precious boys, Vedant and Agastya, who still I'm continuing to learn a lot from both of them every single day. My beautiful niece here, who's with me, Shravya. I also want to take a moment to thank and my sincere and my heartfelt thanks to my parents who've been my biggest strength in supporting my academic career and who continue to render their support every single day till date. A very special thanks to my mom-in-law, who's my biggest cheerleader, and I'm so grateful to her. My brother and sister-in-law, and of course, my extended family and friends. Thank you so much for this honor once again. It just motivates me and inspires me to go that extra mile and make that extra effort and work that much harder to make every effort little and transformational to improve patients' lives and their well-being, particularly in the field of oncology. So thank you so much once again.
I'm now going to present the Honorary Alumni Awards. Honorary Alumni awardees are recognized for their personal contributions toward pharmacy achievement, leadership, and service to the profession, as well as exceptional service to the college. These individuals inspire our students and serve as role models. I'd like to start by introducing our first winner, Judy Dormer, who is Dean Emerita of Graduate Studies and Research at Appalachian State University, Boone, North Carolina. She earned a PhD from Tulane in microbiology and immunology in 1966. While still a graduate student, she met and married Floyd Domer, who graduated from the School of Pharmacy at the University of Iowa in 1954. Immediately after receiving her doctorate, Judith began her career teaching undergraduate students at Dominican College in New Orleans. During her second year there, she was awarded an NIH research grant and returned to the Department of Microbiology and Immunology at Tulane, where she stayed for 28 years, rising through professional ranks to professor, teaching, and continuing her research on the immunology of opportunistic fungal infections. Later, she was appointed the Associate Dean of the Graduate School and finally Acting Vice Chancellor for Graduate Studies at the Medical Center. Judy and her late husband Floyd are generous supporters of the college. They established the Domer Distinguished Lectureship and more recently the Domer Scholarship, providing for annual full tuition to a PharmD student. Judy's guest with her today is Mr. Bill Metz. I'd ask you to rise. And now I'd like to invite Judy to the stage to receive her gift and provide her remarks.
It is indeed an honor to become an honorary alum of the College of Pharmacy. Floyd would have been very pleased indeed to know that. And I didn't even have to take an exam to get in. It's been an honor also for us to be able to support, in particular, two programs here at the College of Pharmacy. One is the Domer Scholars Program, which we established, and the other is the Distinguished Lectureship in the Zeta Cooper Symposium. Floyd and I were both first-generation college/university students who were raised in families that were highly supportive of our educational aspirations, but were unable to really provide us with much in the way of financial support. And the only reason that we actually were able, well, the reason I'm able to be here now is because during our applications to the colleges and universities, we were able to get scholarships. And in addition, I was able to be involved in a work-study program, and my husband was able to work in a pharmacy in Cedar Rapids on weekends and during the summer. And he actually would hitchhike from Iowa City to Cedar Rapids every weekend to work at the pharmacy. So it's unlikely that we would be here if we had not had that scholarship support. A good solid education, no matter what your chosen profession is absolutely critical to your future success, as everyone I'm sure in this room knows. So we decided early on that a major part of our charitable giving would involve scholarship support at our respective institutions. So the opportunity to support the Zeta Cooper Symposium was right up our alley, as well as the Domer Scholarship Program that was established. The mentoring opportunities that come along with the Zeta Cooper Symposium were a real plus as well in this. So we're pleased to be able to contribute to the education of students through these scholarship programs. And I applaud anyone else in this audience who, like we, were concerned about students who were trying to complete an education and would come out with large amounts of debt. And so scholarship support was so critical. But I encourage those of you here who have the means and have not yet decided to come up to support scholarship programs to give it some serious thought. It's so rewarding to see what students can accomplish given all of the resources they need to get their education.
Our next honorary alumni is Tim Franson, who currently serves as a principal of Fagre Drinking Consulting in the firm's life sciences regulatory consulting practice. Previously, Tim was the chief medical officer for Your Encore. Much of his professional career he spent working for Eli Lilly and Company, ultimately retiring from the leadership role of global vice president for regulatory affairs and drug safety. At that time, he was directly responsible for Lilly's regulatory submissions, including over 25 major approvals, as well as regulatory compliance and policy matters. Prior to his work at Lilly, Dr. Franson was an assistant professor of medicine and infectious disease and hospital epidemiologist at the Medical College of Wisconsin in Milwaukee. Dr. Franson has extensive experience in early and late phase drug development relating to clinical, regulatory, quality, and related disciplines for small molecule, biological, cell, and gene therapies. His consulting practice has served over 100 client firms with involvement in over 20 major product approvals. He has also represented industry and policy matters, including congressional testimony for several renewals of the Prescription Drug User Fee Act, and was the president of the U.S. Pharmacopeia Convention from 2010 to 2015, and served on their board of trustees until 2020. I'd like to invite Tim to the podium to accept his award.
Well, thank you and congratulations to fellow recipients. I have to say, sometimes when one is introduced, you get some trepidations because you hear this guy's been at Lilly, then he's been at UronCore, then he's at Faegre. Does he have trouble holding a job? So, but I did have the pleasure of being here at Iowa, serving under Jordan Cohn in a prior life as part of the predecessor to Executive Leadership Board, and had the pleasure of being across the street doing my internal medicine residency at the Carver. So have a strong affection for Iowa. And I think it's a rare privilege to serve on groups such as the ELB with special recognition for Don. In fact, it's probably one of the best paying jobs I ever had. And you're scratching your head and saying, but it's volunteer and you guys actually give contributions. But, riches are defined different ways. And one of my favorite movies is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. And you see them working towards finding the Holy Grail, and particularly in seeking what they thought was a treasure. They don't achieve that. And the comment by the Sean Connery character is that others thought this was just a prize. But what we really found here was enlightenment. And I think that's what the kind of organization that we were having the privilege to participate in, Don, was related to how you constructed the Executive Leadership Board. And that kind of group, which involved a diversity of thoughts and perspectives from practitioners in hospital pharmacy, community, those in academia, those in industry, brings such a diversity of viewpoints on how to move forward on patient issues, that kind of milieu brought forth healthy discussions, and for many of us brought back to our places of work new ideas and ways that we can implement things, such as for rare diseases, which is the principal part of what my work is. So many thanks for that, and to my colleagues on the Executive Leadership Board. It's really been a pleasure to serve and be enriched by your comments, your insights, and what you do every day for patients. I'd also like to highlight for the group the really exciting role that those in Iowa pharmacy play on the national stage. And I think as you look at a number of folks, one of my greatest pleasures was serving as president of the USP when my dear friend Tom Temple was chairman of the board, and also Susan Winkler on there, who later became chair of that board. Even though they called us the Iowa Mafia, we felt that it was an appropriate collaboration for the betterment of drug quality standards. So I think as we look at that and many others who've come through these halls here and at Drake and otherwise and have taken national leadership roles, Iowa outplays its weight in terms of the influence, positive influence it has had on pharmacy and medical practice. So I would just close with saying it's been a real pleasure and privilege to serve with all of you. I think the pride that we have in this profession is related to the fact that it directly translates to patient well-being, and everything we do should be focused on that. I also call out Kathy Temple, who's here, thanking Tom for being the wonderful leader he was at USP and what he has done for that. I also thank my college roommate, Bruce Alexander, former faculty member here. Many of you know that Bruce has led addiction recovery type programs since 1987 and soon will be stepping down. To me, that's a kind of illustration of how each of us can move forward and bring greater value to our communities and our patients. So thank you, Dean Colasar, and thank you all for being here.
The Distinguished Alumni Award is presented annually to individuals who have made exceptional contributions to the theory and practice of pharmacy or have demonstrated major accomplishments in a professional pharmacy practice or in pharmaceutical research and development. I'm pleased to introduce today one of our winners, Dr. Barry Carter, who has been a faculty member at the UI College of Pharmacy twice, once during the 1980s and again in the early 2000s. Between these dates, he served on the faculties of the University of Houston and the Baylor College of Medicine, University of Illinois at Chicago, and was the chairman of the Department of Pharmacy Practice at the University of Colorado from 1995 to 2000. Carter returned to the University of Iowa in 2000 and served as the head of the Division of Clinical and Administrative Pharmacy. He has received over $33 million in funding from NIH as the principal investigator and has another $43 million as a co-investigator since returning to Iowa. Carter is an internationally recognized expert in hypertension and team-based care. He's been a fellow in the American Heart Association, Council on High Blood Pressure Research, the American College of Clinical Pharmacy, and the American Society of Hypertension. He was a member of the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute's 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th Joint National Committees on Evaluation and Treatment of High Blood Pressure. He continues to collaborate with UI investigators on NIH grants involving the management of hypertension. With Barry today is his wife, Sue Carter. If you could please stand.
Thank you, Dean Colasar. I'm deeply honored to be recognized with this award, and I'm privileged to be here with the current and past award recipients for the many awards that are offered today. I want to thank my wife, Sue, for her unwavering support. We've been on this journey together for 47 years. The College of Pharmacy has been a beacon to me, as I've been a student and a faculty member here 3 times, as Dr. Colasar mentioned. Like many of you, I was a first-generation student as well. No one in my family had attended college. And this was the only place I applied. I had no idea what I was doing. The faculty, staff, and students are the College of Pharmacy. In the bachelor's program, my entire career plan changed due to the inspiring faculty, such as Doug Hepler, Lloyd Matheson, Hazel Seba, Randy Prince, Dennis Helling, and others I apologize for insufficient time to recognize. Sue and I were married my last year of the bachelor's program. We then left for the Medical College of Virginia in Richmond in 1978, and we never expected to return. But Dennis Helling offered me a research fellowship, and I was molded as a future faculty member under the mentorship of Dennis and Mark Jones. I was then offered a faculty position, and I stayed for another 7 years. There was an excellent group of clinical faculty in the 1980s, including those previously mentioned, as well as Bruce Alexander, Paul Perry, Gary Milovitz, Bernard Serofman, my physician colleagues in family medicine, and many others. These were the faculty I wanted to use to benchmark my professional behavior and success. When I left for other opportunities in 1988, we never expected to return. But in 2000, Dean Jordan Cohen and Cinda Johnson, who at the time was the head of the Department of Family Medicine, created a research position for me, and I returned. From my research perspective, I would not have considered any other College of Pharmacy. I've been blessed to work with outstanding research faculty and staff colleagues who were instrumental in achieving team excellence, including Gail Artery, Betsy Krishillis, Gary Rosenthal, Mike Ernst, Alan Zillich, Paul James, Barcy Levy, Corey Canelte, Linnea Polgrain, and many others. I owe tremendous thanks to Dean Cohen and Dean Latender, for the support they provided our research program for 20 years. The college is its people. The faculty, staff, and students on our research teams have been instrumental to our success, and I owe them tremendous gratitude. Soon, I thank you very much for this award and the opportunity to return to this College of Pharmacy again and again.
Pleased to introduce our next distinguished alumni, Valerie Jensen. She is the Associate Director of the Drug Shortage Staff at the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. After graduating, Valerie joined the United States Public Health Service as a commissioned officer. Her first duty station was the White River Indian Hospital in White River, Arizona, where she completed an ASHP specialized residency in ambulatory care. She continued with the Indian Health Service, serving Native American populations as a staff pharmacist in Arizona and New Mexico. Valerie transferred to the FDA in 1999 and was one of the initial developers of the FDA's drug shortage program shortly after joining the agency. She was promoted to the rank of captain in 2009 and named Associate Director of the Drug Shortage Program in 2012. She was deployed as a pharmacist to multiple national disaster events, including Hurricane Katrina, where she was responsible for pharmacy services and temporary medical facilities. She retired from active duty after 30 years of service in July 2020 and was hired back into her same position at the FDA as a civilian 1 week later, during the height of the pandemic. She thoroughly enjoyed precepting UI pharmacy students at the FDA through the years, and one of her current staff members is a University of Iowa PharmD graduate who completed the FDA rotation in 2012. Valerie's guests in attendance today are Peggy Hall, and if you would please rise, Rotzi Albrecht, and Jerry Gipper.
Well, all I really ever speak about is drug shortages, so I don't know what to say. But thank you so much. This is such an honor. I want to thank Dean Colasar. Thank you so much. And our former Dean, Dean Latender, thank you. And thank you so much to the College of Pharmacy. I also want to thank my best friend, Peggy Hall, who came from Maryland to be here today. Thank you. And my cousin, Roxy, and her husband, Jerry. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. I also want to thank my mom and dad who couldn't be here today, and they really wanted to be here. They always encourage me. They always support me. They always have given me a drive to face challenges, no matter how tough. And so, as all of you know, who are pharmacists and other healthcare professionals, drug shortages are a huge challenge affecting all of us, all of our patients. And so, I'll keep up the good fight. I've got an amazing team I want to thank back at the FDA. They do amazing work, and we'll keep that up. But thank you all. This is such an honor.
Our final Distinguished Alumni Award goes to David Miller. David is a native of Buffalo Center, Iowa, and has built a career operating at the intersection of science, medicine, and economics. He began his career at Glaxo in pharmacoeconomics, where he was hired by alumni Jane Osterhaus. Previously, David was Senior Vice President of Global Market Access at Biogen, with responsibility for securing patient access to Biogen products worldwide. Prior to Biogen, he founded a consultancy delivering business and commercial strategies for biopharmaceutical clients. He previously worked at Elan as Vice President of Pharmacoeconomics, Managing Director, Asset Executive, and Head of International Operations. Miller is now Chair and Chief Executive Officer of the Genesis Research Group, a pharmacy services consultancy, and is an operating partner at GHO Capital. A coveted advisor, mentor, and board member, Miller serves on boards at Eloquent, IDEA, Almaden Genomics, the University of Maryland, Baltimore School of Pharmacy, and the UI College of Pharmacy. He earned his PhD at the University of Maryland, Baltimore, studying health, economics, and policy. Miller and his wife, Wendy, and their two sons, Trey and Grady, have made London, United Kingdom their home for more than 20 years. So I'd like at this time to invite David Miller to the podium to accept his award.
Thank you, Dean Colazar and Don for, and the university and the college for recognizing me with this award. I'm deeply honored and just a little bit humbled, to be honest, to receive it. When I reflect on my own professional journey, it's clear that all roads lead back to Iowa, much like Barry, I guess. That journey started with me working in my dad's pharmacy in Buffalo Center, to working for a couple of the world's great pharmaceutical companies, to now investing in and running pharma services companies. I'm tickled to have a couple of people here who had a role in that journey, Doctors Jane Osterhaus and Ray Townsend, who hired me into my first job at Glaxo. Thank you for taking a chance on me, Ray and Jane. Thank you for coming all this way to see me receive this award. I also want to thank my parents, Howard and Corinne, who I can only presume are listening in on heaven's equivalent of Zoom. My mom grew up in Clay County in Northwest Iowa. She graduated from Iowa State with a degree in home economic and chemistry. When I asked her one time why she took chemistry, this was the 1940s, she said, well, it was during World War II. There weren't a lot of men on campus in those days, and I thought taking chemistry would increase my odds of meeting a husband. She didn't actually meet my dad at Iowa State. She met him in O'Brien County in Northwest Iowa, where he was from and where she had gone to teach high school chemistry. They married, and they came here to Iowa City. He graduated in 1950 from the College of Pharmacy. My mom instilled in me a love for learning, and my dad taught me how to operate at the intersection of medicine and business. I'm the youngest of four brothers, and each of them had a role in shaping me. Sometimes that shaping involved, physical shaping, but we supported each other, and they're listening in on Zoom, and I just want to call them out. Jeff in Virginia, Mike in Minnesota, and Kurt, who lives outside of Zurich, Switzerland. I'm grateful to my former professors here at Iowa who encouraged me to think about my pharmacy education as a stepping stone to additional education, and who vouched for me when I applied to the University of Maryland graduate school. My time here at Iowa established some lifelong friends, and I understand that several of them are listening in to this as well. We studied hard, we played hard. There's something about that develops lifelong bonds, and I'm grateful that they're still very much a part of my life. Thank you. Finally, I want to give a shout out to my wife, Wendy, and our sons, Trey and Grady, who are listening in on Zoom from over the pond. Trey is in his second year at Trinity College in Dublin. Grady is a senior in high school and getting ready to go off to university. Wendy is a Cal Berkeley graduate. I've never held that against her. Who knows, maybe someday the Big Ten will allow Cal into the conference. In any event, I can't imagine being on this journey with anyone else besides Wendy, Trey, and Grady. And I'm sending my deep love and and profound thank you to you over Zoom. Look, what I've learned along the way is this: life is just it's just as much about what you accomplish as it is about who you accomplish that with. They're synergistic, and for me, that synergism started here at Iowa. So, thank you again.
The Osterhaus Medal for Lifetime Achievement Award is presented to one or more individuals who have made extraordinary achievements in the pharmacy profession. The medal, the medal is the pinnacle award given by the UI College of Pharmacy to a recipient who has advanced the practice of pharmacy in profound ways or made significant strides in discovery. The award is named after the founders and former owners of the forward-thinking Osterhaus Pharmacy in Maquoketa. Robert Osterhaus, with a BS in 52, and his wife, Anne Osterhaus. I'm going to read the past recipients in attendance and ask you to stand or wave. Anne Osterhaus, Bob Osterhaus, Pat Keith, Susan Winkler, Dennis Helling, and TJ Johnsonrud. I'd now like to introduce the 2024 recipients, both who received their bachelor's degree in 1980, Matt and Marilyn Osterhaus. Marilyn is a community pharmacist who previously co-owned Osterhaus Pharmacy in Maquoketa. Her practice and her passion centered on post-mastectomy patients, specialty compounding, over-the-counter medication use, and encouraging the pharmacy practice advancement in the community setting. She has been in various leadership roles in the Iowa Pharmacy Association and the Dubuque Area Pharmacists Association. She is a recipient of the UI College of Pharmacy Distinguished Alumni Award, the American Association of College of Pharmacy Crystal Apple Award for Excellence in Experiential Education, and the 2019 IPA Bowl of Hygeia. Marilyn is extremely engaged in her local community, serving on numerous boards and committees. Matt Osterhaus is also a community pharmacist who previously co-owned Osterhaus Pharmacy in Maquoketa. He was a founding investor of Outcomes and has been instrumental in furthering community-based research in Iowa. He has served on several state boards, committees, and commissions, including the Iowa Board of Pharmacy Examiners. Currently, Osterhaus is president of CPESN in Iowa and a national luminary of CPESN USA. An active member of local, state, and national pharmacy associations, Osterhaus has held a variety of leadership positions, including the president of the American Pharmacists Association and the Iowa Pharmacy Association. His focus has been enhancing patient interaction, expanding community pharmacy residency, leadership development, and the attainment of provider status for pharmacists. He is a recipient of the UI College of Pharmacy Distinguished Alumni Award, APHA, APPM Distinguished Achievement Award in Community and Ambulatory Practice, and the APHA Good Government Pharmacist of the Year. Both Matt and Marilyn are longtime supporters of the college. I think there are many members of their family in attendance today. So if you would please stand. And now I'd like to invite Matt and Marilyn to come to the podium and accept.
Should we start?
Let's start.
Who should go first?
I think you should.
Thank you for this incredible honor. Today, we share the stage with a group of difference makers in our profession and our world. Congrats, Barry, Dave, Valerie, Judy, Tim, Jessica, and Yogita. As we prepared to address the gathering today and share our journey together, the idea of the DNA double helix came to mind. Certainly one of nature's most profound and elegant structures, it seems to be the perfect metaphor for the partnership Marilyn and I have enjoyed for the past 48 years.
Mhm.
Two complementary strands, intricate, resilient, twisting and turning in perfect harmony, the foundation of which is family. We'd like to take a few moments to thank our family members from across the country in attendance today.
As we recognize you, please give a wave to the crowd. Our son, Andy, our daughter, Maria, and her husband, Bobby, our son, Jack, and our daughter, Laura, was not able to attend today. Thanks to you for inspiring us to stay young. My brother, David, and his wife, Kathy, my sister, Debbie, and her husband, Greg. My brother Bob was not able to join us today. My Aunt Susan and dear friend Marty. Thank you for your love and support over the years.
My brother Mark, my sister Jane and her husband Ray, previously mentioned by the other awardee, and their sons Mac and Cade. My sister Kate and her husband Mike, and their daughter, my goddaughter Allie. My sister Molly and her husband Bob. My parents, Ann and Bob O. Fortunately for the college's event budget, most of the 84 Osterhauses were not able to make it today. But I thank you all for giving me the roots and the room to grow and keep growing.
Also here, our Osterhaus Pharmacy family.
Wave, you're supposed to wave.
This group is unrivaled as the most patient-focused team on the planet. They make us look good. And last but not least, our broader pharmacy family and our University of Iowa family.
You've all been a vital strand in the complex and beautiful structure that we have come to be.
So, how did we get here? Well, I beat Matt to Iowa City, as I was born here when my father was in pharmacy school. We were brought up in hardworking pharmacy families. We both followed our father's lead to Iowa City for pharmacy school. Bobo in the class of 52, and my dad, Jack, in the class of 58. As I got to know Matt, I realized his family was rooted in a strong faith. First, when he said he was from a family of 4 boys, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Secondly, when he said he could study with me only after he went to Mass with his brother.
I spotted Marilyn as she walked into our freshman zoology class with 2 of her friends from high school, all wearing matching blue down coats. Literally 6 months later, I got up the nerve to speak to her, wooing her in quantitative analysis lab with some extra lab equipment that I had procured somehow. And then in a blink of an eye, a mere 4 years later, we were married.
So life is about learning, and we have had some great teachers and mentors throughout our lives, many in this room. Some no longer with us. My dad taught me by example to challenge myself and not be afraid of setting lofty goals in areas I excelled in. He worked 1.5 jobs to provide for his family and reinforce the merit of a strong work ethic. My mom, Virginia, showed me the benefits of sharing your time and energy with causes you believe in. Serve those less fortunate than you, and energy with causes you believe in. Serve those, and put your family first. She showed us the value of playing a leadership role in school, church, and community activities. I was a third-generation Girl Scout leader, following in her shoes.
My mom encouraged all of us to listen before you speak and to sing out loud regardless of who's listening. My dad taught me to invest in yourself and the people that you want to partner with. Push yourself and others will follow. Make work fun. Other lessons learned. Art history can be a gateway to not only an enriched life, but a better grade point. Thanks, Phil. 2 computer monitors are better than 1. Is that correct, Farah? And really applying yourself academically can lead to a lifelong friendship. A nod to Dennis Helling.
We have also learned from each other. Opposites really do attract. Dancing with a rhythmically challenged husband can be hard on your feet. There are drastically different definitions of neat and tidy. The ability to speak in song lyrics can be both enlightening and tiring, right, Bob Whitmore?
I've learned that not everyone likes loud music. All greens do not go together. Sorry, Mom. Living with a true handy woman has great advantages. The engineering gene does not come from the Osterhaus side of the family. Marilyn can efficiently organize her grocery cart, repair the coffee grinder, and adjust the blade on her chainsaw in no time flat.
Our professional accomplishments are rooted in the learning we did across the street and across this campus. One of the critical elements instilled was learning never stops. We reinforce this to our students and residents emphatically. Our practice and business philosophy has been to identify a need of our patients or community, educate ourselves and our team and what it takes to meet that need, and deliver the service in a consistently and quality manner. This opened our eyes to the establishment of the Pink Wardrobe, providing products and services to post-mastectomy patients. Our goal was to serve our patients locally at a time when their health status was very vulnerable. Today, that circle of patients extends throughout Eastern Iowa.
We extended our long-term care service when ICFMRs were established to provide services to individuals with developmental disabilities in Jackson and Clinton counties. This patient population requires a significant portion of creative care planning and off-label use of medications. It brought a tremendous opportunity for pharmacists, psychiatrists, collaboration to improve the quality of life while minimizing drug misadventures.
Our professional mission has included educating the next generation of pharmacists, which also provides our staff additional learning opportunities. Our relationships with Drake, Iowa, and several other schools across the Midwest have given us the pleasure to mentor over 200 student pharmacists over the past 3+ decades. The majority of them lived at our home or Bob and E&O's, so they got a full dose of community pharmacy, day and night. It also included a lesson on how to set the dinner table and the joy and mystery within the world of wine. Today, I continue to guide them through the over-the-counter aisles, and Matt is helping teach the law class to the P3s here at Iowa. Establishing and investing in partnerships has been a hallmark of what we consider our most impactful and satisfying professional accomplishments. Taking part in the Iowa Center for Pharmaceutical Care as one of the initial 12 sites was a game changer. Iowa Pharmacy Association, Drake, and the University of Iowa brought the training and education to our motivated team, which elevated the level of practice in Iowa and beyond. Seasoned practitioners and new grads were given the tools to document the clinical interventions we made and enhance our role in managing care in collaboration with patients and the rest of their care team. We also transformed the patient experience by creating an innovative layout featuring multiple private patient areas where the counseling pharmacist and the patient were positioned side by side. Thank you, Jay Curry.
Creation of the community pharmacy residency program at the University of Iowa with Jay Curry and Jim Miller set a new bar for postgraduate education and community practice. Ours was the first multi-site community residency to be nationally accredited. This one-year experience has been an igniter of innovation in our practice. Now in its 28th year, we are proud to see the ripple effects the graduates of this program have made across Iowa and the nation. APHA has been a driving force in expanding these sites across the country, and as you would expect, Iowa pharmacists have been instrumental in this effort. Proud to have some of those community pharmacy residency graduates in the audience today. The Community Pharmacy Enhanced Service Network, or CPESN, is a collaboration of NCPA, Community Care of North Carolina, which is a public-private partnership focused on community-based healthcare, and over 3,500 community pharmacies across this country. It is the first clinically integrated network of pharmacists in the United States. The 43 local networks are delivering on over 300 value-based contracts, paying pharmacists for what they know and do beyond the product we dispense. CPSN Iowa is a top-performing local network of 120 pharmacies, and Osterhaus Pharmacy is a top-performing pharmacy in that network. I'm proud to have played a role along with Iowa pharmacists Troy Trigstad, Randy McDonough, Ryan Frericks, Bob Greenwood, and Lindsay Ludwig in the formation and development of these innovative efforts to position community pharmacists as providers of essential healthcare services to patients across the country. During my tenure on the board of the Community Pharmacy Foundation, we've invested over $6 million to implement practice transformation in community pharmacies, utilizing the CPSN networks as the nucleus to flip the pharmacy, to maximize the benefits of pharmacy services to patients in over 40 states. CPF has also funded the ACT Collaborative to drive changes in colleges of pharmacy, programs to expose students to community pharmacy practices that are shining examples of what a professionally rewarding and high-impact career can be had in community pharmacy. These are some of the most exciting and innovative initiatives I have been a part of in my professional career. What else needs to be done to secure a future for pharmacists as critical caregivers in our communities? Max Eggleston, in his Remington address in 1995, warned us not to allow pharmaceutical manufacturers to dictate our worth in the healthcare system, while acknowledging that medications we dispense are what differentiates us from other providers. Today, pharmacy benefit managers, PSAOs, wholesalers could maybe be added to the list of who we should fear is directing us in a direction that's not right for us and not right for our patients. We as a profession need to collaborate with the payers and players who are willing to recognize and compensate the pharmacists who provide care that improves the quality of life and healthcare outcomes of the patients they serve. Pharmacists should be contracted and compensated like our medical brethren, locally, with the opportunity to be rewarded when we bring value to the patients and the healthcare system. You may not know that the whole story of the discovery of the DNA molecule, the double helix, but a female scientist named Rosalind Franklin actually made that discovery. The credit went to Watson and Crick, who were next door in the lab. And I think a similar situation is going on in pharmacy, where pharmacists don't get the credit that they deserve for the value they bring to the system. All pharmacies and pharmacists are not the same. It's up to us to build the coalitions to force the issue of being paid differently when we do things differently. Pharmacists focused on the whole patient, their social determinants of health, diagnosing and solving drug therapy problems, and advocating for the patient are difference makers. A recent white paper compared Iowa Medicaid patients with chronic conditions being managed by CPSN Iowa pharmacists to a control group. The CPSN group showed a 33% decrease in hospital admissions, a sizable improvement in gaps of care closed, and a 16% decrease in medical costs. All pharmacies are not the same. In this healthcare system with misaligned incentives, silos of care, and pharmacy deserts, how do we get our voice heard? We need to amp up our advocacy efforts with the decision makers in Des Moines and in Washington, D.C. They can mandate a level playing field. They're paying the bills. We need to draw a line in the sand and turn down contracts that are unfair or unreasonable. We, the patient-focused pharmacists, regardless of our practice setting, need to build a more cohesive message with those who share our mission to enhance patient outcomes with pharmacist care. This includes the associations who represent pharmacists, the schools of pharmacy, employers, patient organizations, and governmental bodies. Does your legislature know the name of their pharmacist? That's a role we can play. The payers will respond to the market. We need to move the market in favor of patients. The double helix is a symbol of life itself, a blueprint that has stood the test of time because its adaptability and resilience. Our careers have been built on these principles. Just as DNA carries the legacy of generations before us, we are here because of the wisdom, guidance, and love passed down to us by our parents, family members, mentors, and colleagues. We are humbled and grateful for the recognition.
Thank you for this honor and recognition. Matt can get pretty serious at times. Bobo frequently reminds us to remember to have fun while we work. With that in mind, Bobo, I would like to ask you to stand, please. And I'm asking the Osterhaus Pharmacy family, you know who you are, to stand, and family, and help us close our remarks with a familiar cheer from Bobo's high school alma mater.
All right, Dad, start us out. Ka-ching, acka-lacka-chow, acka-lacka-ching-ching, chow-chow-chow, boom-lacka, sis, boom, ba, Sav here, high school. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Wow, what a day. Congratulations to all of our awardees. I'm so humbled and excited for all of you. Thank you for everyone in the audience for being with us today so we could have you present for these awards. And thank you also for attending the investiture ceremony. I really appreciate it. So now we are going to have a reception. So I'll invite you to go down into the lobby where the reception will be going on. I also hope very much to see you tomorrow night at the graduate. And for those of you who have won awards, please stay a little and we're going to have a group picture. So thank you again to all of you and all the awardees. What a great day.